Welcome back to my channel, Digital Code Lab. Today I want to ask you a simple question. How does Google Map decide which route to show? How does Instagram decide what posts appear on your feed? And how does an ATM decide whether to give you money or display an insufficient balance? You can think about it. Computers are not intelligent like human beings. They simply follow some instructions. So, how do they make decisions? How do they repeat tasks? And the answer is what? Due to control structures. So that control structure is more powerful. By the help of this, we can make our software more intelligent. And today we are going to learn one of the most important topic in C++, that is the power of control structure. Trust me, if you are if you understand this topic, you can start building real programs instead of just writing simple statements. So, the power of control structures. Let's first understand what control structure actually do. Imagine you are driving a car. Sometimes you go straight. Sometimes you take a left turn. Sometimes you stop. Sometimes you reverse. The road is not always the same. Similarly, a program should not always execute every line in the same way. Sometimes it needs to make decision. Sometimes it's need to repeat some tasks, and sometimes it needs to skip certain operations. So control structures help us to control the flow of execution. Suppose you are using an ATM. If your account has 10,000 money, should the ATM allow to withdraw rupees 5,000? Yes. Why? Because sufficient balance is available there. What will happen if your account has only 500 rupees? And should it still allow 5,000 withdrawal? No. See, even machine make decisions, and those decisions are made using control structures. The foundation sequence structures. Let's start with the simplest type of program flow. That is what sequence structure. Think about your morning routine. Daily you are following same routine. You wake up, then brush your teeth, take a bath, eat breakfast, and you go to college or office. You don't randomly perform these tasks. There is a sequence. You can't skip any sequence, right? So, one a step after another, you are following in daily day-to-day life. That's exactly how a basic C++ program works. Here you can see the code in x equal to 5. So obviously in memory it will declare one variable that name is what x, and where it will initialize the value of x by 5. Then next instruction I have given x equal to x plus 3. So obviously previous value of x was 5. So it will add 3 in 5. X plus 3 means 5 plus 3 equal to 8. Now 8 is stored in x. Again I am going to print cout x. So obviously cout why we are using? Cout we are using for console output. So it will bring the output A. This is very simple code. No decision, no loops, no shortcuts. The program simply follow instructions one by one steps. If I ask you to bake a cake and you skip putting sugar, the result changes or not. Finally, relate the things by real life example. If I ask to you, bake a cake and you skip putting sugar, the result will change, obviously. Similarly, in sequence structure, every statement executes in order. Nothing you can skip. Can anyone tell me what the output will be if x equal to 10 and x equal to x plus 5? What output it will print? See out x. Write your answer in the comment. Now, imagine you are developing a banking application. A customer enters an amount to withdraw. Should the system always allow withdrawal? No. It depends on the balance. Suddenly, we need decision making, and that's where selection structure come into the picture. Selection structure comes into your mind. Programs become useful only when they can think differently in different situations, and that's exactly what selection structure allow. Okay, so making decisions. How to make decision? Let me ask a question. Suppose you in your exam you score 95 marks. Should you receive grade A? Absolutely. What will happen if you get a score 40? Should you still receive grade A? No. Why? Because it depends upon your marks. The result depends on the condition, right? So here there are multiple conditional statements, decision making statements that helps us to take decision, right? One is if statement. Let me relate this decision making statement and conditional statement by real life example. Sometimes in your life also, if you have to take any decision, right? If you are confused, what should I do? Suppose you are pursuing right now BCA. After BCA, what I can do? Obviously, at that time, you will take some conditions, right? If I will get good job, then I will go for job. So there are four to five types of conditional statement. If a statement, if else, else if ladder, if nested if, as well as switch statement. So if is like asking a question. If the answer is true, do something. Otherwise, do nothing. Real life example, I can say that if it rains, carry an umbrella. If it does not rain, nothing happens. Similarly, you want to check, I am eligible to give vote or not. You will ask yourself, my age is either greater than or equal to 18 year or not. Yes, condition is true, then you are eligible. Otherwise, you can do nothing. If else, if you have only a single condition and if condition will return true, one or true. Then the statement that you want to execute that will execute, otherwise it will not do anything. And sometimes if you have two-way, right, you are standing in middle point and suppose you can go left side or right side according to condition, right? If this condition will be true, I will go this side, otherwise I will go this side. For next side, you have no need to check the condition. So similarly, if else works. Now we have two choices. If it rains, take an umbrella, else wear sunglasses. So what you will do? You will check condition, it is raining or not. If not, then you wear sunglasses. One condition, but two possible actions. Similarly, suppose you are saying, if I will get good job, I will go for job. Otherwise, I will go for higher study. If you are going to check number is positive or negative. If you have checked if number is greater than 0, yes, if condition is true, means you can say that it's positive. Otherwise, by default, it is negative. You have no need to check. Similarly, if you have to check number is even or odd. So, what you will do? You will check a number is divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, means it will return condition true. And if it will return condition true, means this block will execute. Otherwise, directly you can say that number is odd. You have no need to check condition because you have only two choices, and in two choices you have checked one condition, and if one condition is returning true, means that is true. Otherwise, if it will return false, obviously else block will execute. At a time, either if will execute or else will execute. It is not possible to execute both block at a time, right? Similarly, computer can take decision according to that condition. If you have given any condition, suppose you want to check any person is eligible to go give vote or not, then what you will do? You will write if age greater than equal to 18, then eligible to give vote. Otherwise, directly you can say that in else you are not eligible to give vote. So here either the person will be eligible to give vote, otherwise that person will not eligible. No any third option will have, right? And at a time, a single block of a statement will execute. Understood? Next is else if ladder. Suppose we are checking grades. You have to make a report card of a student. How to make report card? How to check grades? Obviously, here also I have to check some conditions, right? I will say if marks is greater than equal to 90, then print grade A. Otherwise, else if marks is greater than equal to 80, then print grade B. If 70 and greater than 70, obviously print C. And below that, you can say it is full. So like that, if you have more than conditions, more choices, right? At that time, you will choose a single choice. How? By the help of else if ladder. You will not use again and again if else, if else, if else. That is not a good programming approach. You have to choose a good programming approach. You will write first condition at top if condition. Then else if, suppose you have five conditions, four times you will check. One if block you will write and three else if block you will write. And at last, if all four are wrong, then obviously fifth will be right. So in else you will write. And here, if you have written total five conditions, so only one condition will satisfy at a time and that condition will print. Next is switch statement. Suppose I ask to you to choose one for tea, two for coffee, three for juice. You want to make any restaurant management system and where you want to make any menu, how you can make? Obviously, you can choose switch statement. Instead of writing many if statements, switch makes the code cleaner and faster. Tell me in comment if your age is 18 or above, what should you what should the system display? And if it is below 18, think like a programmer. Else if in action. Let's imagine we are teachers. The students are waiting for their grades and the computer has a student's score. Now, must decide the grade how? A score equal to int, a score equal to 85. I have already given a score to computer. This score, the score is 85. If a score greater than equal to 90 is 85 greater than or equal to 90, no. Move the next condition. Move the next condition. Else if a score greater than equal to 80, is it true? So if it will put the value where is 85 greater than or equal to 80? Obviously, yes. It will return true or 1. So grade B is displayed on a screen. Notice something interesting. Once a condition becomes true, the remaining conditions are ignored. The program stops checking all the conditions. If your first condition will true, suppose here in place of 85, I will write 95. Right? A student got marks 95. And first line, if will execute, why? Because it will return true and it will skip all the lines. So if the score is 72, what grade will be displayed? So correct answer will be grade C. Next, repeating actions. Iteration structures. This is also known as iterative statement as well as looping statement. Now I have a challenge for you. If I will say you print hello world 100 times. If I will say print hello world one time, you will write directly see out hello world, right? But if I will say print hello world 100 times, would you write 100 times hello world, hello world, hello world, see out hello world? 100 times? Of course not. Why? Because if you will start writing, you will be totally confused how much times I have written. So whenever we need to repeat a task, we use loops. Loops save time. You have no need to write same thing again and again. You can write a simple loop, and inside that you will write a single statement, see out hello world, and it will execute 100 times. It reduce codes. Your code will become shorter. Here you can see and for loop, and where inside the for loop we will write the code. And it make program smarter. Let me explain this by real life example. You can think it about sending notification to thousands of users, checking attendance of 100 students, processing transaction in a bank. All these require repetition. So rather than doing it manually again and again, we will use repetitive statements. There are total three types of loops. First is for loop. When you know how many times the statement will execute, how many times something should happen. For example, take attendance of exactly 60 students. Check assignment of all 100 students. Means when I know the number of iterations, if I will say print hello world 100 times, means you know 1 to 100. 100 times I have to iterate my loop. You can choose for loop directly. If you want to print table of any number, if you want to print factorial of any number, obviously you can choose for loop. For loop is called entry control loop. Entry control loop, or anywhere you will see pre-tested loop. What is this? We are writing for, for is what here? For is keyword. And in for keyword, in bracket, we are writing initialization first. We are taking any variable, like suppose int I. I is a variable I have taken for iterating loop. Then condition I less than equal to how many times I want to iterate. Suppose 10. I less than equal to 10. And I plus this. What we will do at that time, first computer will check, your program will check either the value of I is less than or equal to 10 or not. If it is less than or equal to 10, then only it will iterate. Otherwise, it will skip everything. Means at entry level, it's going to check the condition. If the condition will be true, then only it will print the statement. This, this is the exactly for initialization, condition, and then increment or decrement. Why increment or decrement? Sometimes suppose you want to print all the value in increment order, otherwise in decrement order. Suppose if I will say print 1 to 100, all numbers. Obviously you will start initialization 1, you will give condition less than equal to 100 and plus plus. Plus plus means I plus plus means plus 1. I equal to I plus 1. Otherwise, if I will say it's opposite, you have to print 100, 99, 98, like this up to 1. So in reverse order, you have to print all the values. So where you will use decrement of it. Decrement I minus minus increment or decrement. You understood? Next is what? While loop. When you do not know the exact number of repetitions, how much time your loop will iterate, how much time your condition will be true and statement will print. At that time, you can choose while loop directly. For example, keep asking for password until it is correct. There is no limitation. It will again and again ask password until it is correct. Suppose I give you a problem. You have to reverse any number. Obviously, how much digit user will enter, you don't know. Because at runtime, you are going to take value of that variable. Suppose you entered 123, means 3 times my loop should iterate. If user will enter 12, 2 times loop will iterate. If user will enter uh, any 4-digit number, 4 times loop will iterate. And so at that time, we will choose directly while loop. Means while loop and for loop, both are entry control loop, pre-tested loop. First, it will check condition. If condition will be true, then loop will iterate. But